Hey everyone, it's been a while. It's been a long while since I've posted on here. But there's something that just popped into my mind earlier this evening, and because people have been asking me about my neighbor. Those of you who followed me on social media over the last few years know that I would talk about the signs that my neighbor would post on their lawn. And then I finally start documenting their signs. And the signs started around maybe 2014. And then I started documenting the signs and posting them in 2016, early 2016. And initially, they just seemed like a truther. And then you got more and more into like right wing propaganda. And then when the presidential elections were underway and Trump came into the picture, then the signs became extremely pro Trump and anti everyone else, regardless of party. So everyone, like before they even selected Trump as the main candidate, they were against every other delegate who was running. And I think that maybe my neighbor was a Russian plant, playing the long con as a fake American. And like, I know it sounds crazy. I know it sounds nuts. I know this. But the timing of everything was just really, really bizarre. So, like, for the first few years, the signs were all handwritten and everything. And then when the presidential election came underway, that's when they got a printer all of a sudden. And they would post multiple printed out signs on this one sign. So I'll probably post pictures of some of the signs. It was just in a metal frame that you put in your lawn. The frame was chained to the lawn. Like, it didn't have like a brick or a cement block or anything right there. It was just a chain attached to like the ground. And so just there were always these signs all the time. And my neighbor would switch out the signs about every 2 weeks and was very dedicated to this. When the election started, that's when the signs start becoming extremely political, very pro-Trump, anti-everyone else. It's the first time that I had ever seen those Hillary for Prison stickers. It was on that sign, like Infowars.com. Person was a very big Alex Jones fan. Now I keep using the past tense, and that's because when the Russian investigation started, the signs stopped. And so it was very notable because, for years, these signs were very, very regular. And then suddenly they stopped. And then when the investigation started carrying more weight, the frame was gone and they resodded the grass. So you can never tell that a sign ever stood there to begin with because it's all been completely redone. And so that just seemed very, very strange. The activity around that house was just strange in general. And I won't get into that now, but it was just odd. And I think it's because, like, they keep talking about the cyber influence of Russia on the elections, but I think it goes deeper than that because I live in a community where you have people who've been living in this area in the same house for like over 40 years. So this is a demographic. They go out and vote in every single election, but they don't use the internet. They're not on social media. They don't go onto Facebook. They don't go onto Twitter. They wouldn't receive any sort of notices like that. So you pick your house that's on a busy street in a neighborhood right on the corner of that street. So there are only two ways in and out of my neighborhood, and you have to drive by their house, that lawn, in order to get in and out. That's one of the entrances, and that's the main one to get into my neighborhood. So you have to see that sign. And so I think that's the demographic that it hits. The people who don't go online, but they're still out there voting. And so when the investigation began, poof, like the signs are just gone. They're gone. And now the frame is gone too. Because before, like if they'd go out of town or something, they would take the signs out, but they'd leave the frame there. But then when that investigation, when people start taking it more and more seriously, and then that's when the frame disappears. And then they resawed the grass. It's just, it's strange. It's really strange. But initially, no one here is really pro-Trump. They're, like, this is a very red area where I live. So they're very much for the Republican Party, but not for Trump, except for that house. And so they would just put up all these different things about everyone else, dirt on everyone else, especially Ted Cruz. I think it's because Ted Cruz is, you know, like, from around here. But it's odd. And I think that they were a Russian plant. And I know it sounds nuts. I don't know if they had, like, plants around the U.S. in communities where you have a lot of elderly people without a lot of internet activity. But I think they did. And I'm kind of curious if there are other people who are out there who also experienced very similar signs for years, where they didn't really become politically charged until Trump came into the picture. And because the things that these signs were saying, it's just like what you were seeing online, except they were on the front lawn of a neighbor's house. So yeah, so I'm curious if any of you out there had similar experiences with these signs, and then they disappeared at the same time as my neighbor's signs did. So if you did, let me know, because I just for my own curiosity. Anyway, I will see you next time.